If possible, I just want to try and share my screen if I can. How do I do it? Okay, so here we go. So you should be getting those slides now.
Yes.
Yep, got them. Okay, perfect. So this presentation this evening is the first look for the unfranchised business, being Market Australia or shop.com. Now, myself, a bit of background about me. I'm a chiropractor, so trained chiropractor, have a practice. My wife and I have a practice locally in the northern suburbs of Melbourne. We have had that practice for close on 20 years now. It's actually been 18 years now, so it's a fair bit of time to be a chiropractor, I suppose. No more exciting time to be in the health field than now. Having a lot of fun doing that, looking after a lot of people, a lot of families. Also, I am a husband. Christine is my wife. We've been married now for 13 years. And also father of 3 daughters, Jessica, Eloise and Alexis. So 10 years old, 9 years old and 7 years old, our youngest. So, and I suppose the reason why I was introduced to Market Australia shop.com business by a friend of mine. And the reason why I actually looked at it is because being open-minded all the time, I'm always looking at everything. So I'm looking at everything always with regards to businesses, with regards to investing, with regards to all different types of sources of income, etc., different types of income. And what this business did for me is when I actually looked at it, and I had to look at the understandings of the business a couple of times to understand it, and I'm still actually learning more and more each day. What I find with this business is it's continually evolving, and it's evolving with the times. And I continue to look back. If I was to start a business today, what fundamentals would the business have to have? And the unfranchised business actually does tick all those boxes. So I'll go over those in point by point tonight. But yeah, if I was to plan a business tonight or to start up a business like this, the things that I'm going to be talking about tonight, it would have all of them. So so I'm just going to go into those in more detail and elaborate on those as we continue to go. I think the first thing to touch on is the amount of recognition that shop.com has been getting worldwide recently, over the last years. Now, I've been an unfranchised owner now for about 10 years, just on 10 years. And we never had, access to recognition like this around 2010. Now, with regards to the internet blowing up the way that it actually is, we're getting more and more understanding of, rankings, how more people are shopping online, the numbers that are coming in. And if we look here in Newsweek, shop.com is actually being classified amongst the best online shops. Now, what it does is it actually ranks the top 1,000 online shops across 8 industries and 39 categories to create a ranking of best online shops. Now, out of all the online shops in the world, shop.com ranked number 11 in the universal provider general category. So in the same category are shops or companies such as Target, BrandSmart, Costco, Walmart, Amazon, Sam's Club, Sears. These are some of the biggest companies in the world, full stop. And shop.com is right up there with them. Now, I think one of the things to ask yourself, if you've just heard of shop.com, the question is, why have you just heard of shop.com now when you've heard of Target, you've heard of Costco, you've heard of Amazon, you've heard of Walmart? And it continues to ring a bell in my mind that over the last 10 years, shop.com and Market Australia has become more known in my circles, definitely, Australia-wide, Hong Kong wide, Singapore wide, Southeast Asia wide, America, North America, South America as well, worldwide. And I'm looking towards the next 10 years, if not the next 20 years, shop.com will be one of those names that everyone knows. Okay, it'll be, yep, okay, it's up par with Amazon, Target, because the brand recognition is there and it's been built. So that's a hugely exciting thing for me, because one of the things I wanted to do when I first started this business is I wanted to know that this business was going to be thriving and surviving in the years ahead. Because if it is my retirement plan, or it's my plan B, or it's my way of making extra income, I want to make sure it's there in the years to come, and if not, for generations to come. And the recognition that we're actually getting is, building that foundation for it to be there in the years to come. So within the industry of online shopping, we've become very, very well known. Shop.com was actually bought by Market America. A lot of people don't know this, even unfranchise owners. Market America actually went out there and wanted to understand or build the online presence. They actually wanted to build its share in online traffic and sales. Instead of developing a team to actually do that, pay the cost, the millions and millions of dollars it would have taken to actually build a site like shop.com, J.R. Ridinger and his corporate team made the decision to actually buy shop.com at the time. So that was about 5 or 6 years ago now, and it's a fantastic move. So all of a sudden we have a brand recognition, fantastic name, people get to understand it, know it, use it, and it becomes part of our everyday shopping and everyday society pretty much. So among the industry itself, shop.com is ranked number 36 in the largest global online marketplace. This was in the Internet Retailer Top 100. Also, it was ranked 65 in the 2018 Internet Retailer Top 1000. Ranked 96 in the Internet Retailer Asia Top 500, and is the 18th fastest growing internet mobile retailer. That's a huge thing as well. Mobile devices are being used more and more these days. Ranked 11 in the Newsweek magazine 2020 Best Online Shops, as I just mentioned with the previous slide. Market American Shop.com has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, which I will touch on in a little bit more detail because I'm very proud of that and what that actually stands for. Also ranked 8th in the 2018 Grant Thornton North Carolina Top 100. And it received the Triad Business Journal's 2019 Fast 50, which is the award as one of the top privately held companies for sustained growth, driving the area's economy. This marks the 14th time the company has won this award. Just going to touch on one thing. One of the top privately held companies. Now, this is very important, and this has been very important for me over the years, because what generally happens with a company is, and many companies are started by entrepreneurs, and what they do is they have an ambition to float them on the stock exchange. To create cash flow or to create money out of stock. My interpretation of that, or my understanding of that, what I've experienced is once that happens, the business is then not for the business owner. It's not for the people using the business. It's basically for the shareholders. And the business thrives or dies according to the share price. Having a business privately held, the owners of the business, being the corporate team, have made it and taken it upon themselves to make sure that each and every unfranchised owner is looked after, not shareholders. So this company, and it's been assured to us by the owners of the company, that it will never be floated on the stock exchange. J.R. Ridinger, a lot of people don't know this as well, the unfranchised owners. In the early days, J.R. Ridinger actually followed some of his predecessors in the network marketing industry and actually did float the company on the stock exchange in the very beginning. But what did he do? He saw that that was the wrong thing to do, and he actually bought back all the stock. So he then held it within his own hands, then brought on the corporate team to say, okay, where do we need to drive this for the next 10, 20 years? And where do we need to drive this for the next 100 to 200 years? So look, I see that as very entrepreneurial in a sense, not just for now, but for the future. And that's, this is one of the big ticks that, for me, this holds a lot of weight in those who are looking in a company to invest in their time, but also those people who are actually going to be using a company to be trading with, spending their money with, investing with, is very, very important. So there's some of the accolades in the industry themselves. Now, I do want to touch on the Better Business Bureau, because this is quite significant. Better Business Bureau is, it's not taken by, or it's not actually calculated on reviews of customers or anything like that. It's actually a board that sits, and there's different categories that a business has to, check boxes that a business has to qualify for to be awarded such an award. Now, with the Better Business Bureau, Shop.com Market America actually received an A+ rating. Now that is the highest you can actually get. You can actually have a look, if you do get some time, do go on the Better Business Bureau website, have a look at all the other businesses there. You'll know them, you know a lot of them. And an interesting thing to understand is that Shop.com has actually won this award twice. It's the only company that has won this award twice. So, look, as far as I'm concerned, any company can possibly fluke it once, maybe put in some, a good performance and get this award once, but to win it twice, that's really saying a lot for the integrity of the business. And these are the types of things which make me really comfortable in dealing with a company like this and building our future for my family and myself with this company. So what is it? So Market Australia, Shop.com, it provides a system for entrepreneurs to create an ongoing income and become financially independent while providing consumers worldwide with a better way to shop. Through revolutionary technology and the power of people, we are creating the economy of the future. We're powered by people just like you. So we're powered by the unfranchised owners, the individual unfranchised owners. Now, the system was created from the beginning to allow ongoing income for entrepreneurs. So if one is an entrepreneur, wants to, has an ambition in business, wants to create more for themselves, more for their family, want to become financially independent, this is a tool. There are many tools to actually do that. There are many tools to create ongoing income. Another one may be putting funds in the bank. Another one might be buying a franchise. Another one might be starting a business yourself, franchising it. There are many options these days. Another one might be buying a lot of shares, a lot of stock, okay, and receiving dividends and things like that. So this is a vehicle that actually provides ongoing income. Now, for myself, ongoing income is very attractive. And this has actually allowed us to, being a chiropractor, doctor of chiropractic in practice now, I am in practice that are around about 25 hours a week. And my wife is in practice 6 hours a week. The income that this business actually does provide for our family means that I don't have to be spending 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours to provide for our family. We're getting by with those, how should I say it, half-time hours or almost part-time hours in practice. And that's very important to me. Another thing that I do is I'm actually a local counsellor in our community. So I need time for that. I need about 10 to 12 hours or so a week to answer emails, talk to people in the community, talk to officers, council officers, etc., council meetings. And that wouldn't be able to be done if I was working a 50-hour, 40-hour or 50-hour week. Apart from that, also being a husband, a father, we know kids grow up very fast, working 40, 50 plus hours and then adding on to that, extracurricular things, adding on to that extra businesses if we want to be entrepreneurial. For me, I found that this is something that I wanted to do as well, so that I could sort of take some time back. And time is, in the end, all we've got. Okay, so as we get older, we sacrifice our time and work for someday in the future. But guess what? Someday in the future never comes. Life is all about today. So it's about what we're doing today. So if you're listening to this presentation now and you don't have something, a plan for the future, other than just your pension or something like that, this is something you should really seriously look at. This is a tool that can give you that bit of extra money. The more work you put in, the more money you make, and allow you to have that ongoing income and achieve, if you do want to, financial independence. Now, how does it do that? It provides consumers worldwide with a better way to shop. And what's the best way to shop? Well, online, isn't it? Okay, so this company, the founder of this company, saw that how people shopped was bricks and mortar, meaning that you go into a mall, or you go into a supermarket, or a Myer, or a David Jones, and you would literally, they would need the overheads such as rent, staffing. They'd also need an online presence. They need to advertise, etc., etc., etc. You take away all those costs, you can run a business at the bare bones, minimum costs, yet with high touch, powered by people, working very efficiently. And that's what this business actually is. And the reason why this is occurring is because at the forefront, the economy is changing, and it's changing very, very quickly. Even if we see what's happened over the last 6 months, it's changing even more quickly. So the first thing, and the 4 major trends that we look at are creating the greatest opportunities for those who have positioned themselves ahead of these trends. So MarketAustraliaShop.com is positioned to take advantage of all 4 trends at the one time. So the first one I want to touch on is a retail store collapse. Retail stores, the costs of running them are far too high. Staffing is far too high. There are many costs. If anyone has ever owned a business which has a shop front or has an office, you know there are many costs which are expenses which bring down the bottom line straight away. So to do away with those is absolutely revolutionary and brilliant. The rise of online shopping has been there since the internet began, and it's just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Things such as we're going through now, such as COVID, is just bringing this on even more quickly. So in the next 10 or 20 years, you have to ask yourself, is online shopping going away? No, it's not. It's only going to get bigger and bigger. One-to-one marketing is replacing mass marketing. Now, this is very true, because what we understand is people love to shop and people love to buy, but they only want to shop and buy things that they need and want. So in the past, businesses would just mass market, throw out marketing campaigns, and they pick up, a few percent of that marketing dollar. Now what they understand is one-to-one marketing is very powerful. Look at how powerful things like Facebook ads are, Google AdWords, etc. We still go back to word of mouth, a friend telling another friend something that they need. That's the most powerful form of advertising. I mean, that's really how we get all our patients in practice. That's how we've always done it. And this is how, in a business like this, we get all our customers, we get all, it's just word of mouth. A rise in entrepreneurship is the fourth thing that is being taken advantage of. Look, I believe there's an entrepreneur in all of us. It just needs to be nurtured, watered. It just needs an avenue to come out, and a tool like this, such as a business like the Unfranchise business, can possibly be the ultimate tool for that. Now, the Unfranchise business is like a franchise, but it is also unlike a franchise. So the founder of the Unfranchise business, J.R. Ridinger, actually was looking at, well, why can't a business be successful like a franchise, but then why do we have to have things like all the overheads, like franchise fees? Why do we have to pay royalties? You know, why is there such big startup expenses? You know, why do you have to bring in income and pay a percentage to the franchisor? So he looked at that, and this is where he came up with the unfranchise. So it is like a franchise, but it is like nothing else. Everything is standardized, systemized, uniform. We do everything exactly the same. We have proven management systems. We've got professional marketing tools that we can all use. We have a standardized training systems, which is very, very important. This is one of the things I looked at that was key to this business when I first started, that training systems were available to train myself and my team as well. We have market-driven products and services, which are in high demand. And we have branding and increasing visibility, as we've seen in the credits beforehand, or the slides beforehand, with regards to other companies, internet shopping, etc. But unlike a franchise, because there's no franchise fees or royalties to franchisors, there's minimal startup expenses. We don't have to spend the thousands and thousands of dollars to buy a name like McDonald's or KFC or any other franchises that are out there. Potential tax advantages in owning a business. This is one thing, if anyone is listening who are working for a boss and they don't have a business themselves, you're not receiving the tax advantages that you can for your general day-to-day expenses, travel costs, those sorts of things. A lot of money can be saved that way. We have no large monthly overheads, no territorial restrictions, which means that we can do business with anyone, anywhere. We can also do this part-time with flexible hours, which is really good for me, because if I want to put a bit more effort into my practice, I can do that. If I want to put a bit more effort into my family, I can do that. When I want to put a bit more effort into this business, well, I can do that. And in the end, there is little risk. So generally what happens with most businesses are the risk is high. And we look at the rate of failure of businesses within the first year to 5 years. That's very high. So this is something, and everyone's probably heard that, you know, a high percentage of businesses fail within the first 5 years. You know, having little on the table at that time, you know, it doesn't, you know, you're not going backwards, you're not losing huge amounts of money on rent, staffing costs, etc. Have a bit of a think if you owned a franchise or you owned a bigger business at this time of COVID, trying to keep all the staff going, trying to keep the rents going, trying to keep all the overheads going. Now there's things like JobKeeper and those sorts of things, but guess what? That's just not going to cut it in the months and the years ahead. So the company itself was founded in 1992, so many years ago now. It is a worldwide and it's a global product brokerage and internet marketing company that specializes in one-to-one marketing. So that's really the company's catch cry. So being worldwide, sourcing products globally, brokeraging them, meaning that going straight to the manufacturer, not being a manufacturer house ourselves. So cutting out all the costs of manufacturing, put that burden on other companies. Using the internet and the power of the internet to get exposure, making sales, and then also specializing in one-to-one marketing, which is, you know, that mouth-to-mouth, one-to-one, friend-to-friend. And what I do is I look at it like the old way of shopping used to be that you never walked into a mall and you know, you just, you know, put your money down and just bought whatever you actually wanted. In the olden days, and I might be showing you how old I am now, but in the olden days, we used to have what was called strip shopping. Strip shopping means that there's a strip of shops, and you had your butcher, you had your greengrocer, you had your hairdresser, you had all the different shops, and you'd walk in there, and the interesting thing would be is that you would know their name and their family, and they will know your name and your family, and you are actually pleased and happy to be dealing with them and, you know, going into their stores and seeing what they're up to, etc. Now that old way is actually coming back, and that's what this business is built on. And in the years to come, it will continue to come back to that more and more. The headquarters of shop.com is in Greensboro in North Carolina, and worldwide we employ 850 people. We have offices and operations in the United States, Canada, Australia, Taiwan, Hong Kong, United Kingdom, Singapore, and Malaysia. And there we have the Better Business Bureau 2013 and 2018 Torch Award on Trust, Performance, Integrity. The A+ rating there won those 2 times. Now, this is the worldwide company sales and unfranchise earnings. So the first thing is to understand whether the company is making money. Any person who owns stock or any person who owns a business, you want to be making sure that the company is making money. So over the years since the company began, the estimated accumulated retail sales is over $15.5 billion. So that's the earnings that the company has actually made over the years. Now, on the bottom right of your screen, you'll actually see the total unfranchised owner earnings. That is just over $8 billion. So just over half of all the sales that this company brings in goes to unfranchised owners such as myself, such as Kitty, such as Anne Loke, such as Ken, such as other unfranchised owners. So there are thousands of unfranchised owners earning anywhere from $300 to $3,600 per week. Now, how those monies are actually earned is the topic of the second topic of or presentation, which Kitty will be giving information on how to listen to that. But when I looked at this business to start with, I thought to myself, gee, what would it be like if we earned an extra $300 a week extra? Gee, what would it be if we actually earned $300 extra a month? That wouldn't be bad either. So really just to be earning those extra dollars, and when they do drop into the bank account, it's almost like, oh wow, there it is, it's fantastic. So, you know, this is something where as an ongoing income, as you get that, you have to experience it. You can't explain it, you just have to experience it actually happening. Now, not only that, on a weekly basis, there's more than 500 franchise owners earning or have earned in excess of $1.4 million in commissions. And also, the company's adding new $1 million earners every month. So with regards to the earnings of the unfranchised owners, when they tick up, so it starts at $300 and it continues to tick up, when it gets to $1 million, you become a $1 million earner. And we have many in Australia, and there are many in the world, and there's more happening every month. So another thing, looking at the company as well, if you look at the projected sales, every year you can see that bar graph going up and up. That is something which is important in a company too. I think this is something that is monumental about this company over the years. It has resisted recessions in the past, especially in Australia as well. Who knows how resistant it's going to be to COVID right now. I think you're going to be surprised as we come out of this over the next 6 months, 12 months, 2 years. I think we'll see the income will be quite buoyant compared to how the economy has actually gone. And that's because of the foundation that this business is actually built on. We see out there people are still spending money. They're going to supermarkets, they're doing things. So it's not like everything is being shut down. So business is happening. It's just where the business is happening is the real clincher. So for me, this is very important that sales are continually rising and very resistant to any downturns in the market and the economy. Now we get down to the personal side of the presentation tonight, and this is called the 45-year plan. And this is the time to reflect on ourselves about our own plan and whether we have bought into the 45-year plan. Because possibly this is going to be a wake-up call for you. Possibly you didn't know you're in the 45-year plan. This is actually the plan that we're brought up with in school. We're brought up with this as kids. We're told to study hard. We're told to get a good job. We're told to earn money. We're told to retire at a certain age and you live the lifestyle, don't you? But really, it doesn't work out that way. With regards to statistically, 95% of people spend up to 45 years of their lives making the other 5% successful. They work a plan for someone else's financial success, not their own. Now, that may not hit you where it hurts in the heart quite yet, because you're out there, you're doing your job, and you say, well, hang on a minute, I'm earning money. I'm able to buy my food. I'm able to, pay for my car. I'm able to, support my kids, those sorts of things. So how am I making the other 5% successful? Well, the fact of it is that if you're working for a boss or you're working for a company, it's the wealth of the company that you're actually spending your time, and you're growing that company with your time. Okay, you're getting paid for it, so you're getting something back for that time. But essentially, if you're working for a business or a boss, you really are making them wealthier on your time. So the statistics are that of the 95% at the age of at retirement age, so we call retirement age 65, even though in Australia now retirement age is now lifted to 67, and in the future it is poised to lift to 69 to 70 as well, retirement age, where you can actually have access to pension. Now, 95% of people are either still working at retirement age, they've either worked too hard and they've already died before the age of 65, which is pretty terrible, dying, anywhere between the age of 30 to 65. But a lot of people are financially struggling still at the age of 65, where they should be putting their feet up, saying to themselves, I've worked for 45 years since I was 20. I've put away all this amazing amount of money, so now I can go and travel the world, and I can, look after my grandkids, and I can just have fun all the time. That's not necessarily the case. The statistics show us that only 5% are financially free. So 5 out of every 100 people are financially fit, meaning that they can continue to keep the same lifestyle that they were living while they were working in retirement. So that's really something to think about. So after tonight, I think if you just have a thought, just to sit down and say, look, what age am I now? When I am 65, will I have enough money to go around the world, live the life of my dreams, etc.? Because if the answer is no, seriously look at a business such as this. If this business doesn't suit you, look at something else to get you into that financially fit position, because life is not meant to be lived either working past the age of 65, dying early because health is no good, struggling financially. Life is there to be lived. So this is what entrepreneurs look at on a daily basis. So the 45-year plan is one that starts to get us into, when we run the 45-year plan, we can get into major student loans, credit card debt, car loans, mortgage, because that's part of the plan. The plan is to get us into debt. So basically, if we're going to get out of that 45-year plan, what have we got to do? We've got to stop getting into that debt, and we've actually got to pay that down. Now, if we want to do that, if we start to look at financial security, how do we do that? I think a lot of people think, well, if I can just put enough money in the bank and live off the interest, we'll all be happy. But they've never actually done the sums. Now, if you do the sums, you would need to save $600,000 to earn an extra $1,000 a month, and that is a 2% interest rate. Now, our banks here in Australia don't actually give 2% interest rate, and are not going to give anywhere near 2% interest rate for many, many years. But if they did give 2% interest rate, we would need to put in $600,000 to earn $1,000 a month. Now, $1,000 a month is $12,000 a year. We can't live on $12,000 a year. So a bit of an exercise I do every now and then is I look at, okay, if I want to live on $100,000 a year, how much do I have to have in the bank earning interest at 2%? And just a matter of interest, just do it at 2%, just do it at 5%, just do it at different percentages, and you'll just see the amount of millions of dollars you have to have in the bank. To be honest, to earn $100,000 off interest, I wouldn't be comfortable having that amount of money in the bank, because what happens if the banking system collapses? What happens to all the money there? Okay, and who knows what's going to happen in the future with regards to the banking system itself. Now, if you move on, are pensions the answer? Well, 77% of Australians over 65 years of age, the majority of the income comes from their pension. So 77% of Australians over the age of 65. That's a big number. Now, the average pension is $1,685.60 per month. Now, this is from the Department of Social Services, so these are live figures. So that's a month, that's around about $400 a week. That's not enough to live a lifestyle that we're accustomed to while we're working. So in other words, what it means is, if we're working, we have a certain lifestyle. If we say we're going to retire, we've got to take a pay cut. And that's not what entrepreneurs do. When entrepreneurs retire, they retire more affluent, they retire richer than before. So that's something to think about as well. So the unfranchised business offers the 2 to 3 year plan. It's a plan for your own financial success. And I say that again, it's your own financial success. So it's a matter of taking the bull by the horns and saying, okay, I want something more. Is this a way that I can get to financial freedom and have an ongoing income? So it can provide many things at different levels. It can provide an additional income. It can provide a means of debt reduction. It can provide time freedom. So instead of trading time for money, we're creating money somewhere else, so I can bring that time back. It can fund a university fund. It can fund early retirement. It can be the source of financial security. There can be potential tax advantages of owning one's own business. It can pay off the mortgage quicker. It can pay rent instead of having to go out there and work for it. It can pay off that car. And it can be the backup plan that we have when we have a job and for some reason we can't work, whether it be due to injury, sickness, illness, some other hardship such as COVID. You know, there are many times in people's lives that things happen that they can't continue to work. So a backup plan to keep things going under those circumstances can be very significant. Look, it's all about creating a residual income. And the 2 to 3 year plan is a set plan of how to do this in a 2 to 3 year time span. Now, some entrepreneurs and some unfranchise owners, being entrepreneurial, have done it quicker than that. Some unfranchise owners have done it more slowly than that. It really doesn't matter, because it is a plan for your own financial success, and everyone's goals and dreams are different. Some people want to fly to the moon in a year. Some people, they just want to fly to the moon once in their lifetime, and they don't matter when they're going to get there. It doesn't really matter. But the important thing to understand is, with a 2 to 3 year plan, this can be failed a few times. Pick up once again and start again. But the 45 year plan, once you've run that plan, there's no time to go back and start that again. Once you finish the 45 year plan, you're going to be in your 60s, and that is not where we have the energy to start businesses, work hard, sacrifice ourselves, because that's a time where we should be relaxing, putting our feet up and spending time doing the things that we want to do. So the younger that you are, the earlier that you start, the better it is. Now, being a product brokerage company, we have hundreds of exclusive products and services. So we are sourcing them all the time from around the world. Exclusive meaning that we have the ability to sell these on behalf of the manufacturers exclusively. So no competition. It's not like they're going to be in any retail stores or anything like that. We have the exclusive rights to actually sell these products or services. We don't rely on sales of any one product or service, which is very, very important in a company, because there are many companies that have actually been started on one or just a few products or one service. And if that goes out of fashion, or it stops working, or people don't want to buy it or something like that, that business is dead. So that's risky. We also have access to multi-billion-dollar markets, which I'll touch on in a minute. It's important, if you're going to go into a business, you might as well go into a business where the money is there already. There's no point actually forging a business in a market that is emerging or it's in the past. So what's happening currently now is very, very important. This company identifies the latest market-driven products, and we have the ability to supply these to the world. It eliminates the burden of manufacturing, which is very, very important. We don't want to be held with the burden of computers to manufacture, machineries to manufacture, wages to create manufacturing. We want to leave those to the manufacturers, let them do their job well, and we can do our job well. And also, this company allows company flexibility to move with the marketplace. So all these things allow the company to see what trends are next, which markets we need to be in. And I can say over the last 10 years, we have gone into different markets and they've been very successful as well. We're into many different markets, including internet services, health and nutrition, home and garden, weight management is a multi-billion-dollar market, age management. Come on, how much money do people spend on trying to continue to be young? Cosmetics, baby and children's care. These are all multi-billion-dollar markets. Personal care. The shopping annuity brand is what I'll touch on in a minute, which is one of the key pillars of the next evolution of this business, which is very, very exciting. But also what's very exciting is the space at the bottom here called coming soon. Because whatever the next trend is, whatever the next product is, whatever the next market is, this company has a flexibility to be in there, okay, to be supplying that service, to be supplying that product. And we as unfranchise owners have the ability to have it sourced for us and to be able to supply it to our customers, to the world, and to benefit financially. We don't have to be out there finding new things. We just have to be being part of those trends. So being an internet marketing company, we have hundreds of partner stores with thousands of products. If you haven't seen our shop.com website yet, and you haven't experienced the partner stores, I do encourage you to go on and have a look at them. They're always being updated. They're always changing. There's always great deals that are actually happening. We've got hundreds of exclusive products as well. Now, there's no cost to register as a customer. Anybody can register as a customer and benefit by shopping online. They can have full access to any of the hot deals, any of the discounts that the manufacturers are offering. And a lot of the partner stores, you will know, these are, where we, do a lot of shopping for the office, do a lot of shopping for home, clothing, footwear, goodness, bought some records the other day as a gift, gifts, presents, etc. There's many, many partner stores there. And also an incentive to use our shop.com site is that customers that we do direct there, they earn cash back. So on any of their purchases, they earn cash back just for shopping online and receiving the benefits of that. So I did touch on the shopping annuity. Now this is a revolutionary concept that helps people convert their spending into earning through the unfranchised business and shop.com. So you're already spending it, why not get paid for it? What it means is we're already spending things anyway in a household. We're already buying things like dishwashing liquid, detergent, fabric softener. We're buying toothpaste. We're buying shavers. We're buying shaving cream. We're buying, many, many things. We're buying health and nutrition products. We're buying water filtration. We're buying internet services. There are many things that if we break a household spend down into, we're spending. Now, when we make those spends just to the companies themselves, we don't get any benefit back from that. But if we took a percentage of that spending on a yearly basis and we put it through the shop.com system and use those stores, and most of the time we're buying the same things that we would normally be buying anyway, that then allows us to get paid at the same time. So an annuity means you put something in and it pays you back by the growth of that. So it's really a revolutionary concept. And the power of more people doing it is the way that it works. So my household has a certain spend per year, yet my whole street has a certain spend per year. Imagine my whole suburb. Imagine the spend or the power that the spend of every house in Australia has, it starts to turn into some quite significant numbers, dollars, buying power, etc. It's in the billions. So all of your purchases from our partner stores and Market Australia exclusive products are tracked by the shopping annuity. And when you're anyone you lead to shops online, you get 100% for those purchases. And that creates an annuity that we get paid on. So it's actually revolutionary. It's absolutely amazing. So more of that in more detail, as the interest perks up with regards to the shopping annuity and how this business works, now how unfranchised owners get paid, because there's a lot more details that can't be told, just in this short, brief presentation. But I think the key point is, which do you prefer? Do you prefer the 45-year plan, which is continuing to trade money, time for money, or possibly look at the 2 to 3 year unfranchised plan, where you can invest 8 to 15 hours a week. You can earn anywhere from $300 to $3,600 a week, and creating a residual income. Now, if you would like to know how the 2 to 3 year plan works, this is the topic for the next presentation, where we go into more detail with regards to the timing of the plan, how the money is earned in the plan, how it grows as annuity as well. So there's more information at the next presentation. So I hope you've enjoyed this presentation by me this evening. I hope I've done the unfranchised owners out there justice,
Yes.
because I know you love this business as much as I do. I know if this business wasn't working, you wouldn't be doing it. Same as myself. It didn't work, I wouldn't be wasting my time in doing it, but it does work. When we receive that income, and it does supplement, all the work that we're actually doing. It's just absolutely fantastic business to be a part of. So I might stop the screen share there if I can.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank
perfect.
you
Thank you
so much, Mark, for that wonderful sharing. And you've made, the unfranchised business very easy and clear to understand, and also full of insights and wisdom. And I'm sure that those of us who are guests would have understood, the concept quite clearly just for the first look. But as we mentioned, we do have a more intricate, detailed presentation on Thursday at 9 o'clock, where we have Ken Fong, who is going to be sharing with us in that detail. And so for those of you who are intrigued by what Dr. Mark has shared tonight, and of course it's only just a concept, and there are still a lot of details in terms of the financial side of things and how you can actually earn an ongoing residual income, then come back at 9 o'clock exactly at the same time, and we're going to be able to send you the Zoom link. Go back to the person who invited you, they will be able to send it. But before we call it a night, I'd love to invite the lovely Selena from Sydney. She is an entrepreneur and has had a lot of experiences in businesses previously, and she chose the 2 to 3 year plan with this business as her really something that will actually give her much more than what she's doing right now. So maybe, Selena, you can share with us why you chose the 2 to 3 year plan.
Yes, hello everybody. If you don't know me, my name's Selena Bragg, and I'm a happy wife, married for the last 28 odd years to a lovely husband. We have 5 beautiful children. We ran together a franchise previously in the early years before now. Did that successfully for 3 years, and then we decided to get out of the franchise and own our own traditional business. Didn't want to pay franchise fees. We got into another business. It went well, but the first 2 years was very hard on my husband, his health. He worked, I don't know how many hours. I think we added up the hours, 108 hours a week for both of us for the next 8 years. It's 8 years now, so it would have been the first 4 to 5 years. Plus I had children to bring up as well. I could just see his health decline. He was getting very tired. But praise the Lord, business picked up, things went well. And that's where the isotonics supplements came in, and it helped him a lot. So, but prior to that, my husband did say to me, can you please look for another business, because I don't know how long this business will last. It's risky, it could go any day. And I was always searching every day, business.com, just searching for different businesses. But the business we were looking for was more than $1 million. We looked into McDonald's, another franchise. We didn't want to move out of Sydney. If you wanted a McDonald's, you had to go to Idaho, Bucko, somewhere. And if we didn't want to move children. So we just thought, okay, we'll go to China and search for a product. But then that's going to cost money. It's going to cost time. It could take me 3 years until I found that one product I want. Didn't want to spend the money. Didn't want to waste time. And thank the Lord, saw this business plan. I had an operation with my son, for my son, and it wasn't the right timing then, but that wouldn't leave my mind, because all I was thinking about was this getting paid to shop.
Yes.
So came out 3 months later, had another look at the plan again, and I was just gobsmacked. I just thought, this has just landed in my lap. This costs absolutely nothing to do. You know, it'll cost you a night out for dinner. Nothing. And just knowing what I know, and knowing how hard it is to earn money to build a business, and knowing that this can give you time freedom within 2 to 3 years, I just thought, this will help my husband. It'll be a plan B. If anything went wrong, this will be my plan B. And also, I want to leave a legacy for my children.
Yeah.
I want them to be home with their kids. I want them to have time with their kids. I've got 4 boys, 1 girl.
Yeah.
I want my boys to be with their children. I want them to have the father time they need with their children.
Beautiful.
And this is going to give them the ability, the freedom, a lifestyle that no other man could wish for. So that's what is in my heart. And if I can leave that legacy to them and teach them how to earn ongoing income, and they can study whatever they want to study and do whatever they want to do, and not being forced to do something just to pay the bills. That's pretty much what this business is going to bring them.
It will.
And that's what I can see.
Yes.
Yep. Additional income. They can
It's beautiful.
do whatever they want. This is what it's going to give them. And they shop all the time. So they shop on my site all the time.
Yes.
I want to buy this one. Can I buy this one? Yeah. Get your cash rate.
Oh, Sabrina.
So I'm teaching them slowly.
Yes.
They see me do it, and they already know the plan.
Yeah. Yes.
So they already know what it is, what it's about.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, so I can't wait.
All the time.
I'm really excited, and that's the future.
I can relate. Mark is one dad that loves his daughter, and I'm sure your husband as well. But you know, one thing that I want to add on to that is I've seen so many people share about the exact reason why they do this business. Majority of the time, of course, financial and time freedom are good, but then it's actually a lot more than themselves.
It's a lifestyle.
It's about you know, a lot more than what meets the eyes.
Yes.
So for those of you guests, I am well aware that we've got quite a number of guests tonight. I really want to encourage you to really think about what this business can do for you. I mean, it's always later than you think, to be honest with you. I know for a fact that I've got many friends that are in this business that might have had things that happened to them now because they built it well in advance. This is able to help them. So think about what the why is, because at the center of everything is the why. And if you're able to actually have this business as, even like Selena said, just a backup plan, but if not, this can be your plan that gives you what you need for your lifestyle. Why not consider it, right? So come back on Thursday, and thanks again everyone for being on tonight, and have a great night. Stay safe and keep well, everyone. Take care. Thank you, Dr. Mark, for your wonderful presentation.
Bye. Well done, Mark.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
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 Good night, everyone.
Mark, well done.